This new moon is not a clean new moon as we would normally see in Taurus. So we've been through it with the eclipses, with all of the wild astrology that we've had the last few months, and this new moon is no different. We're standing on ground that has already been broken open with this new moon in Taurus. Grief is present here. Things have gone, things have passed, things have been seen that we can't unsee. So while grief is present, so is the possibility of new life. The new moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. And so the truth that has surfaced that we cannot unsee, we need to do something with. There is a T-square going on with Mars, Pluto, and this new moon. And so this was activated a week ago at the final quarter square when the moon was in the first degrees of Aquarius. And it was exact between Mars, the moon, and the sun at 1 degree, 12 minutes of Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. So this is kind of a rare alignment that happened last week. And it's undeniable the events that have transpired throughout that. The sun in Taurus illuminated what we thought was stable, right? What we thought was grounded, what we thought was long lasting. The moon in Aquarius exposed the decay or the dysfunction that was underneath with its close proximity to Pluto. Mars in Leo ignited pride, righteousness, and tested our reactions or our responses. Pluto being close to the moon also forced us to confront ourselves or confront what was rotten or unstable or unsustainable beneath the surface, right? With Pluto transiting Aquarius, it's been about seeing the things that are undeniable in the collective and seeing what we don't want versus what we do want at times. So this new moon is a seeding point. And Taurus craves roots. It craves endurance. It craves real security and long-lasting stability. So we're planting in this ground that has been stripped, but now it's fertile, right? And this is fertile soil that we're planting in. And what we plant now has to be real. It cannot be fantasy. It cannot be illusion. It has to be grounded in reality. It's about durable truth and not comforting illusions. So with Mars in opposition with Pluto at this time, Mars is our personal will versus Pluto collective transformation. Pride, anger, defensiveness is coming to the surface, but acting out will destroy progress. This is about true leadership and quiet strength, not loud dominance. Internal battles and power struggles mirror the external ones, right? What we see going on in the collective is also happening within us. And with Uranus still in Taurus at this time, stability has to evolve. Ongoing disruption of what was supposed to last forever, Uranus shakes that stagnant energy and gets it loose and gets it moving. So real stability needs to be alive. It needs to be adaptable. It needs to be responsive, not rigid, not controlled, not, right, any of that. So the ruler of this moon is Venus. And Venus is in a very interesting position at this time. Venus is at 28 degrees of Pisces at this new moon, exalted in its sign of, right, exaltation. It's lifted up to another dimension. Now, it is in post shadow, so we are, in essence, really smoothing over what that Venus retrograde said for us or what it brought up for us in order to transform and move on from. And Venus is conjunct Saturn, which can ground our dreams with discipline as long as we're devoted to the outcomes. And the trine to Mars that Venus is happening right now with Venus and Mars is inspired action, which is aligned with our heart and not just our ego. And so we could be dreaming with our eyes wide open at this time with maturity, not naivete. Now, the general emotional landscape is that we can grieve what has gone before what has been revealed to us, and we can let go and be responsible for what we build next with this new moon. So there is courage to act with integrity instead of clinging to old identities, ideologies, or things that we thought were stable. This is permission to plant new seeds, knowing what it will demand of us. And so really the big takeaway of this new moon is that endings are permissions, not punishments, that truth clears the way for real growth. You can't unsee what you've seen, you can't unfeel what you have felt, and you can't undo what has been done. So we are seeding a future that may take, many years to fully see, but it begins now. And so now we get into the all signs forecast, starting with Aries and Aries rising. So Aries are planting new seeds around self-worth, value, your income, the ways that you sustain yourself, and what you need to feel safe and secure. There's a deep hunger for true stability, not just surface level security, right? So the kind that makes you feel rooted, not just in the moment, but in who you are. So you're facing shifts around your friendships, your alliances, your dreams for the future, but you're also being called to the heart of your own passions, right? You're being called back there with Mars transiting your 5th house. You're creating a life that truly lights you up, versus one that just checks all the boxes, maybe even the boxes for other people, versus the self. So this is a moment to realign your outer ambitions with your inner fire that you really shouldn't be ignoring at this time. For Taurus and for Taurus rising, this new moon is about you, Taurus. This is your identity, your body, your presence in the world. And this is a chance to reclaim yourself after a long stretch of needing to adapt and needing to survive, right? So meanwhile, with what's going on, you're navigating major shifts in your career, your path, your visibility in the world, and also your home life and emotional foundation. So you're building a life that has to nourish you both publicly and privately. And balance isn't just to have right now. This is something that is essential for the next chapters that you are stepping into in your life. For Gemini and Gemini rising, you're beginning a new chapter of inner trust, right? In here, one that connects you with your spiritual center, not just your rational world or mind. There's a fresh energy rising when it comes to surrendering control and finding peace in the unseen forces that shape your life. So your communication patterns, your immediate environments, those are all evolving alongside the deeper shifts in your beliefs and your long-term visions. So it's time to live and speak from a truth that comes from the bones of your being, not just from what you were taught to believe when you were growing up. For Cancer and for Cancer rising, you're planting the seeds for new friendships, for new community, new connections, and bigger hopes for your future. So this is time to align yourself with the people who genuinely see you, not just who find you useful or find you helpful at this time. At this time as well, your relationship to intimacy, trust, emotional vulnerability, surrender is being completely rewritten. Shared resources, debts, and deep emotional entanglements are all in the spotlight right now. So you're learning where you can invest in your heart and where you must call everything back to yourself. For Leo and for Leo rising, this is seeding a new direction in your career, your public reputation, your ambitions, your public life. Are you ready to lead in a way that feels real, not performative, not flashy? That's a question. Meanwhile, your closest relationships and your very sense of self are undergoing serious transformations. The balance between personal power and autonomy and partnership is being tested. So you're learning how to show up fully for your own life, your own self, without demanding applause, and how to stand in your worth, whether others recognize your value or not. For Virgo and for Virgo rising, planting the seeds around your spiritual growth, your education, travel, expansion into the bigger picture, a braver version of your life moving forward. And the horizon is opening before you, right? This is happening in your ninth house, but only if you're willing to step beyond the familiar, the safe. And so at the same time, there's deeper undercurrents that are shifting around your work, around your health, around your daily routines, and your subconscious or unconscious patterns. The call is to create a new life where your daily practices and your dreams are not at odds with each other, but are part of the same conversation. For Libra and for Libra rising, you are planting new roots in intimacy and vulnerability and emotional risk taking. And it's time to deepen the bonds that nourish your soul. So it's time to really release the ones that are surviving only through obligation or through fear, while simultaneously your creativity, your passions, your social networks, those are all evolving. True belonging honors your light, and it never demands that you shrink. Now, right now, is the time to align your pleasure, and your purpose and the people with the version of yourself that you are becoming. For Scorpio and for Scorpio rising, you are planting the seeds on your one-to-one relationships, whether these are romantic, professional, or personal. The partnerships you form now need to be rooted in mutual respect, shared vision, and emotional honesty. Meanwhile, the structures of home, family, property, roots, ancestors, and your public, as well as your public path, your reputation, your career are all shifting around you. You're being asked to weave a life that feels just as solid as your private moments as it does being in the spotlight. So authenticity, not appearances, should be the foundation moving forward. For Sagittarius and for Sagittarius rising, you are planting the seeds in the tangible parts of your life. So your health, your daily routines, your relationship to work, and your relationship to service. This is about creating rhythms that nourish your entire being, not just keeping you busy. So at the same time, your mindset and your broader philosophies are undergoing profound changes and shifts right now. And what you believe, what you speak, and what you build all needs to come into a deeper alignment. And it's time to make your daily life reflect that inner evolution that you've been going through. So for Capricorn and for Capricorn rising, you're planting the seeds around joy, romance, creativity, personal risk taking. This is the fifth house and the house of, personal risk or gambles. And so it's time to step fully into what lights your heart on fire, right? It's even if it scares you a little bit. Meanwhile, in your relationship sector, or your relationships to money, money, self-worth, intimacy, personal power, all of this is being rewritten, right? You're learning about abundance and fulfillment. They're not about control. So they're about trust. And so you need to step into trusting your own gifts and trust who you're becoming. So for Aquarius and Aquarius rising, here you're seeding emotional renewal around the home, family, property, parents, parental figures, your ancestors and your deep foundations. And this is a call to create a sanctuary for your soul that's evolving at this time. So whether it's a physical home, a chosen family, or an internal landscape, more of that emotional feeling of home, while simultaneously your very identity and your closest relationships are being reshaped into something new. So you're not the person you were before, and your relationships also need to grow or be released accordingly. So home, both within and without, now must match who you're becoming. So for Pisces and for Pisces rising, you are planting the seeds in your communication, right? Your mental frameworks, the ways that you connect with your immediate world, and your voice is growing stronger. So it's meant to be heard, right? At this time, you're seeding these intentions. So behind the scenes, deep subconscious patterns and daily life rhythms are being dismantled and reborn, right, with this opposition between Mars and Pluto. So what you think, what you say, and what you do every day will weave into the very reality that you step into next. And it's time to let go, or let your outer life catch up to the transformation that's happening deep within you at this time. So that is what I have for you for this week's forecast. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in a while. Bye, everyone.